Hello, viewers. Welcome to Story Tales by Ritika, where we bring you powerful stories that inspire and transform lives. Today, we share an incredible lesson from Gautama Buddha, a lesson that has the power to change the way you see struggles forever. Have you ever felt trapped in endless struggles, wondering why happiness always feels out of reach? What if the answer isn't in fate or luck, but in your own mindset? This is the story of Anand, a man lost in suffering until he met Gautama Buddha. Through 3 powerful lessons, he discovered the true power of positivity, a force that changed his life forever. Before we begin, hit the like button and subscribe for more stories that can transform your life. Now let's begin Anand's journey, from darkness to light. A long time ago, in the city of Rajgriha, lived a poor man named Anand. He was born into hardship, with barely enough food to eat and no prospects for a better future. His life was filled with misfortunes. His parents died when he was young, his farm was destroyed in a storm, and despite working tirelessly, he remained in deep poverty. One evening, after yet another day of failure, Anand sat outside his small hut, gazing at the vast sky. "Why does suffering never leave me?" he muttered. The town was abuzz with news. Gautama Buddha was visiting Rajgriha, and thousands flocked to hear his wisdom. Though Anand had never seen Buddha, he had heard stories of how his words transformed lives. Desperate and broken, Anand decided he would meet him and ask just one question: why is my life filled with endless suffering? The next morning, Anand walked barefoot to the monastery where Buddha was addressing a gathering. He watched as people listened in deep silence, their eyes reflecting peace. When the discourse ended, Anand gathered courage, approached Buddha, and knelt before him. "Lord, I have suffered my entire life. No matter how hard I work, I remain poor and miserable. Why is life so unfair to me?" Buddha looked at him with kindness and said, "Anand, before I answer your question, let me ask you something. If a man carries a burning coal in his hand, whose hand will burn?" Anand was puzzled. "His own, of course," Buddha smiled. "And if he lets go of the coal, he will be free from pain." Buddha nodded. "Then tell me, Anand, why do you still hold on to the burning coal of negativity? Your pain is real, but your suffering is a choice. Let go and you shall be free." Anand was stunned. Could it really be that simple? Seeing Anand's doubt, Buddha offered him a challenge. "Stay in this monastery for 3 days. In these 3 days, you will face 3 tests. If you pass, your life will change forever." Anand, eager for a way out of his suffering, agreed. That night, a heavy storm hit the monastery. Wind howled, trees bent, and lightning tore across the sky. The monks took shelter inside, but Buddha called Anand to the meditation hall. In the center, a single candle flickered. "Anand," Buddha said, "sit here and watch this candle. If you can keep it burning until dawn, you pass the first test." Anand sat beside the candle, guarding its flame. Hours passed, but the wind grew stronger, creeping through the cracks. Just before dawn, a fierce gust extinguished the candle. Defeated, Anand bowed his head. "I failed, Lord," Buddha gently asked. "Why did the flame go out?" "The wind was too strong, and I couldn't protect it," Anand replied. Buddha smiled. "And yet, you keep expecting your mind to stay bright while surrounded by the storm of negativity. If you want to keep your inner light, you must protect it from the winds of doubt, anger, and despair." Anand realized his first mistake. He had never protected his own peace. The next morning, Buddha handed Anand an empty bowl and told him to go into the city. "Find the happiest person in Rajgriha and ask them to fill this bowl with something precious to them." Anand thought this would be easy, but as he walked through the streets, he realized something shocking. No one was truly happy. A rich merchant, despite his wealth, was worried about thieves. A woman with a loving family feared losing them. Even a respected priest confessed he was haunted by past mistakes. By sunset, Anand returned with an empty bowl. "I found no one who was truly happy," he admitted. Buddha chuckled softly. "Anand, happiness is not found in wealth, relationships, or achievements. It is found in the mind. A person who chooses to be positive, even in suffering, is richer than the wealthiest king." Anand's second realization struck. His suffering was not due to his poverty, but his perspective. On the third day, Buddha took Anand for a walk. They came across a large rock blocking the road. "Move this rock aside," Buddha instructed. Anand pushed and pushed, but it wouldn't budge. Exhausted, he said, "It's impossible, Lord." Buddha simply pointed at a small gap beside the rock. "And what if you walked around it?" Anand paused, then stepped around the rock effortlessly. Buddha smiled. "Tell me, Anand, was the rock truly blocking your path, or did you believe it was?" Anand's heart pounded. All his life he had seen only obstacles, never realizing he could walk around them. That evening, Anand sat by the river, reflecting on all he had learned. His suffering was like the candle, blown out because he let negativity in. His happiness was like the empty bowl, dependent on his own mindset, not external things. His struggles were like the rock, only obstacles because he believed them to be. When he returned to Buddha, he fell at his feet. "Lord, I understand now. My suffering was never because of my fate, but my own mind." Buddha touched his head gently. "Then go, Anand. Spread this wisdom, and remember the power of positivity lies not in avoiding darkness, but in choosing to shine despite it." Epilogue. The legacy of Anand returned to his village and began teaching what he had learned. Slowly his life changed, not because his problems disappeared, but because his mind had transformed. Over time, his wisdom attracted followers, and he became a great teacher in his own right. Many years later, people would call him Anand, the Enlightened One, a testament to the power of positivity. Moral of the story: positivity isn't ignoring problems, it's choosing how to face them. Happiness doesn't come from wealth, but from a peaceful mind. Every obstacle has a way around it if we are willing to look.